Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Capital City Sports Network, where tonight from the Knoxville Coliseum in Knoxville, Tennessee, the American Collegiate Hockey Association and the Southeastern Hockey Conference are proud to present the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Tennessee Ice Vols. Thanks so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dillon Clark. Gamecocks trying to protect an undefeated record, 7-0 to start this 2019-2020 campaign. They marched into Knoxville, very far from home, and they will try to maintain their winning ways. It's been a long bus ride. The Gamecocks pulled into Knoxville a little later than intended. The Vols have come out on the ice for warm-ups. The Gamecocks are still getting squared away in their dressing room. They will take the ice shortly. But a divisional matchup here, two SEC East opponents. This is the first time the Gamecocks will play a divisional opponent since all the way back on September the 13th. Gamecocks played Clemson, and they were able to, it was on the road, they were able to get the win there, again, all the way back in September. So the first divisional opponent in quite some time for the Gamecocks. Since then, they've gone on the road and gotten wins in Wilmington against the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. They've gotten wins at home against Vanderbilt, and most recently, a pair of back-to-back wins against the University of Florida just last weekend. Final score of those games, Gamecocks on top 9-3 and then 4-2 on the subsequent game. An attendance record actually set in that most recent game against Florida, 397 on hand to view that one. A late start tonight, as I'm sure you can tell. For those of you that are still up and with us, we thank you so much. So the attendance tonight here at the Knoxville Coliseum will be a little less than what the Gamecocks may be expecting. But a beautiful facility here, the home of the SPHL Knoxville Ice Bears, just coming off a game a few moments before we got here. Four-time SPHL champions, their most recent President's Cup run back in the 2014-15 season. So the Gamecocks playing in a barn that's seen quite a bit of hockey in the last few seasons, quite a bit of postseason hockey, but regular season action here. Gamecocks and the Vols between the pipes tonight for South Carolina. Making his fifth start will be Trip Russell out of Upton, Massachusetts. He will start for the Gamecocks. Down to our right and down to our left, Brandon Shaw, the Hendersonville, Tennessee native, gets the start for the Vols, a right-handed catching goaltender. So that is our goaltending matchup. So notable scratches tonight for the Gamecocks. Evan Hoey still out. He is eyeballing a return perhaps next week as the Gamecocks head back home. But for now, Hoey's still on the shelf. Duncan Hickman would not travel with the team. Michael Peake stays home in South Carolina due to illness. And most notably, Gamecock captain Cam Mecca and team leader in points unable to make the trip due to a test, actually. A late test tonight, his chemistry. And from the word he gave us on the bus, he did pretty well. So, Cam, we hope the test went well for you. Sorry you couldn't be here to join us. So the Gamecocks having to make some adjustments. Mecca usually playing that left side with Owen Thomas and Ronan Egan at center. Tonight he will be replaced by Chad Lazine, formerly of the Gray Line, but he will join that top unit. Again, Lazine, Egan, and Owen Thomas to start out. Some shuffling on defense. Nick Peters back in the lineup for South Carolina, so he provides some mobility across the Gamecock blue line. We'll send you to a break, and when we come back, it will be the beginning. South Carolina versus Tennessee from Knoxville. Stay with us on the Capital City Sports Network, presented by SGTV. Welcome back to the Capital City Sports Network. The national anthem just been sung here from the Knoxville Coliseum. We are moments away from puck drop. South Carolina and the Tennessee Volunteers. Again, starting goaltenders tonight. Trip Russell between the pipes for South Carolina. Brandon Shaw for Tennessee. Gamecocks in their traveling white uniforms, garnet around the shoulders and the striping around the elbows and waist as well. And Tennessee in their home orange uniforms, some black and white trim for them, white numbers, black buckets atop their heads. So starting out for the Gamecocks, again, we said new defensive pairs with players in and out of the lineups. Ryan McGowan starts off on the back end with Tyler Oakley. Ben Smith's line starts out up front. Smith on the left side, Hawkinson at center, Ian Powderly on the right side. And for the Volunteers, they go with Josh Main, Danny Brooker, Drew King at center, Max Galpin, and Kenny Richter on the backside. Galpin wearing number 17 tonight for the Volunteers. He is their captain. Young man out of Marietta, Georgia, environmental education major. King and Hawkinson to start out here the opening face-off. We thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We are underway from the Knoxville Coliseum. The Gamecocks moving right to left to start this period. They drift back into their own zone. It's Tyler Oakley facing some heavy pressure here, taking down King, gets into the boards. And now Ian Powderly starts out with the puck down the far side, plays it off the official, and the puck bounces in neutral territory. Taken back the other way, it's King for Tennessee into the near side corner. Collides there with McGowan, loose puck picked up. They center it off the outside of the cage. It bounces at the top of the crease. Back to the point now. That shot blocked there by Ben Smith. It's chopped back into Gamecock territory. Or it can be played out and ahead there by Corey Hawkinson. Loose puck stopped there by McGowan, chipped out towards neutral territory. Swiped at there by Ben Smith, but it drifts into Tennessee zone, and it's taken there by Kenny Richter. Down the left side off the line change, Michael Curtis streaking in for the Volunteers. That play broken up by Luke Rudman. He takes a shoulder to the chest and then a cross check to the back. Play continues. Julian Reese can't pick it up off the tape of Luke Rudman. It drifts into Volunteer territory here. Down to our left, near side boards. A little one-touch pass there taken there by Colton Banville. Down the right side into the South Carolina zone. He blows a tire. The puck backhanded back into Gamecocks territory. Below the goal line there, Trip Russell's net. Colin Burke plays pitch and catch with Nick Peters. Oh, it's intercepted, sent right out in the slot. One-time shot hit the blocker of Russell up off the goal post as well. 18:40 to go here in the first period. Tennessee nearly striking first. Play remains in the Gamecock zone. They'll try to stretch one out. Far side, it's Luke Rudman. Tries to hit Julian Reese with speed. That pass shut down at the blue line, delayed off sides. The Volunteers will take it, and they'll play it out ahead through center ice, taken by Bobby Stoberski. Far side, they'll try to ladle that one into the neutral zone, and the Gamecocks shove this one back out off the boards, where it's drifted back and taken there by the Volunteers. Michael Czar has Julian Reese to contend with. It's Luke Rudman. A nice play along the goal line. In front to Siegfried. Loose play right on top of the crease. No one can come away with it. Finally, the Volunteers do. Ben Northern. And now back, it's Michael Czar. Into the slot. Quick shot. He scores! Upstairs over the glove of Trip Russell. Michael Czar beats the goaltender high, and Tennessee out to a quick 1-0 lead here. A little over 2 minutes into this hockey game. Not the first time the Gamecocks have been down early. The Gators took themselves a 1-0 lead 50 seconds into that Friday night game last week. So the Gamecocks have an early 1-0 hole out of which they must dig themselves. They'll try to shake off the bus legs and get back into it here. Tennessee with the early lead. In Tennessee territory, they'll try to break this one out. Unassisted goal there for Czar, and now back it's King, a 2-on-1. Centering pass, all alone in the shot, broken up there. A solid defensive play by Egan. Gamecocks on their heels to start this one. Burke pokes this one ahead. Tyler Oakley shovels this one back in. 3 Gamecocks race in, and against 1 Volunteer in Braden Frost. Along the goal line, it's Owen Thomas. Sends it back down underneath for Ronan Egan. He tries a backhand pass intended for Chad Lazine. Instead, it's Oakley, a one-time shot, knocked down on its way to the cage. Battle back out in the far side face-off circle. Poked away, a solid defensive play there from Mike Czar. Into the neutral zone, the Volunteers will be content to just send this one back into Gamecock territory, and a slow breakout. McGowan forces a pass, and it'll be swatted back into Gamecock territory. McGowan starts it out again. Chipped up, bouncing puck couldn't be settled down in neutral territory for Ben Smith. Powderly unable to hold that puck in off the delayed offsides. Tennessee counters. Harry Cadmus down the far side. Going to drop it off, taken at the top of the circles there. Stretched out underneath. Centering pass shut down there, intended for Josh Main. Instead on the near side. Quick save there by Tripp Russell off the spinning shot from Michael Curtis. Nick Peters crunched in behind the Gamecock net. Ben Smith will be tasked with breaking this puck out. It comes instead for Corey Hawkinson. Hawkinson held up there. Gamecocks get it into offensive territory. And now it's Ian Powderly and Corey Hawkinson down below the goal line. To the point, Nick Peters sends one into the slot, redirected by Ben Smith, still looking for his first goal this season. In the slot, Powderly the quick shot up and over the glove of the goaltender. It gets into the glass. Ben Smith knocked down in front, puck still behind the goal line there, in behind Brandon Shaw's net. 16:04 to go, a 1-0 hockey game, thanks to the early goal from Czar. Volunteers will try to work this out of their own zone. They do, out through center ice. It's going to be Pete Brunch, brings it in. 3-on-2 developing here. Bad change for the Gamecocks. Right around in front, and a brilliant play shut down there by Joe Collega. Ronan Egan on the counterattack for South Carolina. Sends it across for Owen Thomas. The saucer pass took one too many bounces. Thomas gets it back there. Give and go with Egan shut down there. Solid defensive effort from Colton Banville. Gamecocks have it, top of the zone. It's Egan, sends one down low. Redirected on goal. Chad Lazine sends one wide. And the follow-up chance from Thomas ricochets off the outside of the cage. Solid action, a high pace so far in this one. Tennessee out shooting South Carolina 5-2 here as we approach the 15-minute mark. Point shot, prudent shot, save made by Brandon Shaw. Got the right pad on. This puck going to be taken all the way back down. Harry Cadmus might have a break here. And a solid defensive play by Hunter Jackal, making his Gamecock return. But the puck still in South Carolina territory. Jackal, and now the loose puck comes out in front for Owen Thomas. He'll skate this one out himself, send it to the near side. Chad Lazine picks it up off the boards. Shut down just as quickly there by Braden Frost. Egan takes a shoulder in the neutral zone. This puck bounces all the way up in the air in front of the Gamecock bench. Avery Prudent sends one off the boards in behind his goaltender. Drifts around to the far side point, and Colton Banville shoveled back underneath there instead for Garrett Griffiths. Egan sends one out off the glass. Gamecocks content to just send this one out towards center ice. And now Chad Lazine's got some speed here. Knocked off the puck as he enters Tennessee territory. Solid defensive effort there from Banville. Gamecocks in the midst of a change. A pass picked off there. Offensive zone, Julian Reese. Luke Rudman races over to give him support, but Tennessee quickly gathers that puck right back in. It's Drew King. And now in Gamecock territory, Tyler Oakley. Breakout pass. Julian Reese just gets a stick on it on the right side of the red line. Icing waved off. Now it's loose in the slot. McGowan can't handle it on his backhand. Turning around, he got hauled down. And the puck's going to come back out all the way the other way. A crunch there from Mike Bolger. And now that neutral puck flipped all the way back down for the Volunteers. Bit of a sloppy breakout here. They have some trouble, but they'll work it free. McGowan pinching up into the neutral zone. He'll swat this one ahead. Luke Rudman after it. Hollering for that puck in the slot. It's Reese's shot. And a save made there by Brandon Shaw. You could probably hear Julian Reese slapping his stick on the ice from all the way up here. He wanted that puck, and somehow Luke Rudman was able to feed him the puck, but a brilliant save there with the right pad from Brandon Shaw. And so the score remains 1-0. Corey Hawkinson steps in to take this offensive zone draw for South Carolina. Wins it to Smith. Across for Peters at the point. In the slot, it's Ian Powderly. Sends that one intended for Ben Smith. It ends up along the near side, though. Pinching in is Colin Burke. A bouncer into the slot area. Corey Hawkinson on that one. He holds it in at the blue line. Swatted down by Ben Smith below the goal line. He jousts in the corner there. Now the puck comes free to Powderly. Sends one towards the point. It's poked past Peters. Now a 3-on-1 developing here. Colin Burke has to hustle back. Now all alone in the slide. The backhand, they score! All alone, the odd man rush tucked home by Michael Curtis. And Tennessee is off and rolling here with a 2-0 lead. 13:15 to go in this first period. His team leading 5th goal of the season. And so the Gamecocks still waiting to get off the bus here in Knoxville. Tennessee came out. They've been ready to play here. They've had the legs with them so far through this first period. Off the center ice faceoff, it's shot all the way back into Gamecock territory. Down for an icing. Harry Cadmus will be credited with the lone assist on that goal. And so as the faceoff comes all the way back down to our right, Julian Reese at center steps in to win this draw back. Joe Collega fires it underneath. And now racing back to get this one for the Volunteers is Josh Main. He has Luke Rudman to contend with. It drifts back underneath the goal again. A centering pass there intended for Luke Rudman. It bounces around until it comes to the near side faceoff circle. Away from Bolger, now sending this one back in is Collega again. After it is Julian Reese for the Gamecocks. Sends a shoulder up high into Josh Main, who collects himself from the ice. Breakout pass through the skates of Avery Pruden. It drifts back in just to the right of Trip Russell. Joe Collega fires this one off the near side boards. Gamecocks in the midst of a line change. King going to send this one back in too far for Garrett Griffiths. And so the Gamecocks shut down on the breakout again. Tennessee counters. King shoulders Collega there. Reese picks up the puck in front of the benches and has a sea of orange jerseys surround him. Oakley gets the puck on the far side of the ice in the neutral zone, sends it down in, and first man to the puck again, Julian Reese, third time on this shift. And now we've got a penalty, too many men on the ice for Tennessee. So the Gamecocks will have their first power play of the night. 12-12 to go here in this first period. South Carolina trails Tennessee 2-0. And their first penalty of the game. Gamecock power play clipping at a little under 15% on the season. They had some luck with the special teams against Florida, especially in that first game. They went 2 for 7, which at face value doesn't seem like much, but that's pretty solid. If you can get 2 power play goals in a game, that was the difference in that one. And so the Gamecocks will go to work on their first man advantage of the evening. Near side draw one back. It's fired on across as Ryan McGowan goes underneath to play this one. Bolger comes down to help him. The defenseman McGowan, and he will take no tripping call. Play continues. Tennessee players are hollering for a call. Oakley patrols the blue line, sends one on goal. It goes just wide, and now off the boards, Reese couldn't get a stick on it. Brandon Shaw going to cover this one up on the near side of the cage. 11:48 to go in this first period. That'll take 23 seconds off the too many men minor for Tennessee. Serving that one is Max Galpin. And so off the draw, the Gamecocks control again. Egan, staple gun to the boards. Corey Hawkinson comes across to help him out. It's out off the glove of Owen Thomas at the point. Fired all the way down for a clear by Tennessee. Peters for South Carolina on the restart. Owen Thomas picks things up, strides over the red line, and gathers some speed into the Tennessee zone. Down the left side, he'll go underneath the net. Away from King. Still, Owen Thomas out now to the far side. Pulls up, sends one back down for Hawkinson, out off the boards, intended for Owen Thomas, and it escapes he and Nick Peters as well. Gamecocks have to come back out and regroup in the neutral zone. And now their own zone. Owen Thomas now on the breakout for the Gamecocks on this power play. Through the skates of Ronan Egan. The Gamecocks are having trouble on those breakout passes. Bouncer settled down here. 43 seconds on the man advantage. Ronan Egan pulls away from his man. Down the right side, he's got Lazine breaking towards the net. Solid defensive play to remove Egan of control. Colton Banville with the A-plus stick there. Chad Lazine, a bouncer on the side of the net, and it's swept out away. A dangerous opportunity for South Carolina. Now the Volunteers going to send this one on net. Trip Russell with the easy save off the stick of Danny Brooker. 21 to go. One last rush for the Gamecock power play. Ben Smith can't handle that puck. Takes a shoulder up high, and racing ahead now is Ian Powderly into the Tennessee zone. Down the left side underneath, skates away from Michael Curtis, and now he's taken into the boards, joined by Ronan Egan. The Gamecocks have the puck in front for Ben Smith. Attempted give and go there. Penalty time expires. Out of the box now is Galpin. Powderly with the puck underneath on his backhand. And now right around in front, a shot save made there by Shaw. He got the left pad across. Able to deny Ian Powderly. Joe Collega pinches down low. Ben Smith fills in for him at the point. He's got the puck. Sends one into the slot area. Broken up there by Michael Curtis. Bouncer at center ice. Settled down by Pruden. And now high sticking. And the face-off will be indicated back in Gamecock territory, or so it would seem. Tennessee, by far the most ready of the two teams so far in this one. They've had the legs, they've had the speed, they've had the mental awareness. They're connecting on their passes, and right now that seems to be the place to start for South Carolina. Matt Owen to take the defensive zone face-off draw. He's able to win it here. Gamecocks having some luck in the face-off circle. Rob Lawrence played away from him, and the Volunteers shovel this one back in. Ryan McGowan behind Trip Russell's net, sends it to the near side. Alex Siegfried staple gunned into the half wall there, as this drifter sent all the way back down. Braden Frost. Frost behind his own net, sends one near side for Griffiths. And now that one played into Gamecock territory, swatted down by McGowan, fired back out. And countering for Tennessee is Michael Czar, as this one played in. Russell didn't want to cover that one, but a delayed penalty coming up. That's the whistle. 9:15 to go. A slashing call to Ryan McGowan. So with the shots even at 6 apiece, the Gamecocks so far 0 for 1 on the power play. Tennessee will have their first opportunity. They'll win that offensive zone draw in the far face-off circle. Drew King pulls it out, works his way into the slot. The right-handed shot sends one on goal. Russell gets it with the stick. A scramble in front. Russell made a second stop there to deny Brooker. Tennessee works things back out to the blue line. Sending one, and that one just goes wide. Past the blocker of Russell. They'll send this one in front. Gamecocks collapsing here. Not a lot of structure. The penalty killers, Bolger, Kolega, Peters, and Julian Reese, as this puck on the control breakout here for the Volunteers. Minute 25 to go on the slashing call to McGowan. A play in the slot. King on the backhand, and a big save there by Trip Russell. Broken play in the slot. King racing down that left side. He's able to take it on his forehand, fire it up into the chest protector of Trip Russell. He's able to make the save and hang on for a face-off with 8:35 to go. Another defensive zone draw won by the Gamecocks. It's Avery Pruden. He'll fire that around the far side. Played back in, though, by the Volunteers. They'll have it. Between the hash marks, taken back down low by Pete Brunch. And now again at the half wall, it's going to be Michael Curtis. They'll send this one across. A little D-to-D pass there taken by Kenny Richter. Richter down low. To the point, it's Curtis. Center point. Sends this one all the way across for Cadmus. And now a centering pass across intended there for Richter. He pulls it off the boards here. 49 seconds to go on the power play. Prudent with some solid defensive play. The puck leaks out into the slot area where it's helped along and out by Luke Rudman, who challenges Brandon Shaw, plays it in behind the goal. But Rob Lawrence fresh on the ice, the penalty killer for South Carolina, and the puck comes back to the neutral zone. In front of the Volunteers bench, Luke Rudman battling for it there with Pete Brunch. And it comes now to Gamecock territory. Swatted back down Avery Pruden. It goes off a shin guard, and it's taken now to neutral territory by the Volunteers once more. 16 seconds to go on the man advantage. Gamecocks trying to kill this one off here as Lawrence shovels this one out on the backhand. Tennessee, one more breakout here. Fired back in by Lawrence on sides. Luke Rudman shovels it in. He gets the helper on the dump in. Now out of the penalty box, McGowan, delayed penalty. Tennessee will touch this one up. And from the looks of it, we will have our second slashing call. Harry Camdis will sit for 2. 7:09 to go. So dueling penalties here. Gamecocks go back to work here. 0 for 1 on the power play so far. They'll try to make it 1 for 2. Offensive zone draw. Corey Hawkinson able to win this one forward. Half wall, Ronan Egan on the near side. Looking across the seam there. Intended for Lazzini's got it. He'll send that one wide. Nick Peters down low below the goal line. Back out to the point now, Owen Thomas. Sends one. Half wall, far side for Peters, the left-handed shot. Working his way back towards the blue line. Saucer pass bounces over the stick of Owen Thomas. He'll just be able to shovel this one back down and in for Ronan Egan. At the hash marks, pulls up, sends one, and that's off the shaft of Blake Sledge's stick. That'll go out into the netting here. A face-off with 6:41 to go in the first. 2-0 the score. Tennessee leading South Carolina. A minute 32 seconds remain on the Harry Camdis penalty. 2 for slashing. And the goals, if you are just with us, Czar and Curtis for Tennessee. Center point now, Owen Thomas. Off that face-off win for South Carolina. Nick Peters taken into the boards. He's able to send that puck down for Corey Hawkinson. Taken out, glove down at the blue line there by Thomas. Brilliant defensive play to keep the power play in the offensive zone. Chad Lazine and Hawkinson back now. Point shot, Thomas, he fanned on it. Steered into the corner there by the goaltender, Shaw. King for Tennessee fires this one all the way back down far corner. Russell out to play it. He'll leave it for Nick Peters, and now a line change for both clubs. Far side, it's Egan. He'll stay on for this one. Down the right side, avoids a check there. Almost got tattooed by Banville. Centering pass there, big save by Shaw. And the loose puck taken, far side corner. Egan will scrap there with Josh Main. Taken out to the point, Peters fires this one back in. Taken by Pete Brunch, lifted all the way back down the ice. Cherry picking there, high sticking will negate that one. Michael Curtis, a brilliant hand-eye coordination play there. Able to bat that puck down at the Gamecock blue line, but they will rule it was a high stick. He would have been home free on a breakaway. And a chance to put Tennessee up 3-0. But it's shut down there by the high sticking call. So play comes all the way back down to our left. 34 seconds to go on this second Gamecock power play. Face-off one. McGowan at the point. Across for Oakley. Sends one. Save made there. Again by Shaw. A little bit of pushing and shoving afterwards, but Shaw's been tested often here. 10 shots on goal, 10 saves for the chemical engineering major, Brandon Shaw. Again, we mentioned it in the pregame show, but Shaw, a right-handed catching goaltender, holds a stick with his left hand. Not something we typically see, especially at this level. But Oakley off the draw, redirected on the way to the goal. Solid tip by Julian Reese, but it ends up way wide. And now Luke Rudman backhands this one into the slot. No one's home. Volunteers send this one all the way down. Russell makes a save. He gives up a rebound, though. McGowan's got a battle with it. Tennessee picks it up. A big save by Russell. That puck was just laying there for Michael Curtis. Nobody wanted to give it to him. And now it's taken by Julian Reese. Odd man rush develops for South Carolina. Penalty time has expired. Out of the box here is Camdis. Chopped back. Camdis going to have a chance here. Maybe a breakaway. Oakley racing back. Camdis shoots one, and it's fought off there by the shoulder of Trip Russell. Camdis picks it up out towards the blue line. He'll have to take this one back through the neutral zone. Working his way here at his own blue line away from Mike Bolger, where it can be taken here by Bobby Strobierski. Strobierski back for Camdis. Pass out to the far side where it can be taken by Richter. Into Gamecock territory, the right-handed shot. Makes a move around McGowan, and it's sent into the slot area. Broken up nicely there by Oakley. Another centering pass here for the Volunteers. They'll wave at it. Couple of sticks make contact. Braden Frost goes into the corner where he's met by Julian Reese, who fires it underneath and around. And Ronan Egan, Luke Rudman rather, gives chase. Siegfried creates a turnover here. Matt Owen hustling in. Bouncing puck just comes into the neutral zone now. Taken out to the far side there. Picked up Garrett Griffiths. Down the left side, bodied off the puck there by Matt Owen. And it comes free to Rudman once again. Little chip pass. Too far for Siegfried. He'll have to chase after it. The Volunteers slap this one back down to our right. And in for Hunter Jackal below the goal line. Picks it up for South Carolina. Gamecocks break it out. It's Burke, far side. Wants a pass, can't find one. He loses the puck, though. Stripped of control. Taken back the other way by Brooker. 2-on-1. Sends it into the slot for King, and it just rolls right above his stick there. Gamecocks, Matt Owen. 2 goals on this season so far for Owen. Both of them against Florida. And now this one backhanded out of the Tennessee zone into South Carolina territory. And an icing will be called here as Hunter Jackal touches that one up. 3:27 to go, first period. South Carolina trails Tennessee by a score of 2-0. The shots even at 10 apiece. That stat sitting right up in front of us on that big jumbotron, a luxury. Shots on goal, usually a stat we don't always have for you, but when we have them, we're going to give them to you. So 10-10, the shots through the first 16 and a half minutes of this one. 2-0 to score. Centering pass there by Ben Smith comes back for Joe Collega. Far side hash marks. Collega still picks it up in the offensive zone. He'll curl this one around, and he'll make contact with the net. Had nowhere to go there, trying to squeeze his way around Braden Frost and the goal. The goal got the worst of it. It gets knocked off, and so another stoppage here. That'll knock 14 more seconds off the clock. Hawkinson to take the offensive zone draw for South Carolina. One back there by Camdis. And now Camden plays it ahead with some speed here. He'll try to whack it across. Tennessee trying to work things out east and west. They're getting those cross-ice passes without too much resistance. That one didn't work there. As now breaking out is Hawkinson. He takes a solid shoulder, fights the man off, and he'll follow the drifting puck into Tennessee territory. The Volunteers counter, turned over. The Hawkinson centering one intended for Ben Smith. He goes down in the slot. Ben Smith, he waves at the Tennessee goaltender. He believes that Shaw may have tripped him up, as he'll go back to the bench. Avery Pruden to start things out from South Carolina territory. Streaking down that left wing. Pruden pulls up, sends an easy shot on goal. That one stopped there by Brandon Shaw and gloved for another face-off here. 2:26 to go. Period number 1. So the Gamecocks back on their heels, more so than they've been used to so far to start this season. Gamecocks have been in control really for the majority of the games they've played and the majority of the time in those games. They haven't spent too much time trailing. Really the only time as this puck goes out of play. Caught the glass though, so no delay of game call upcoming to the Volunteers. The only time the Gamecocks have really trailed in recent memory was that first game to Florida the other night. It was a Friday night game. Ended up winning that one 9-3, but they trailed 1-0 for quite some time. They went back and forth until the Gamecocks finally started to pull away with it. A collision along the far side squirts the puck back out into the neutral zone. Countered back by Ryan McGowan. Underneath where it can be taken by Kenny Richter of the Volunteers. Drifting puck taken back out now with some speed for Kyer Bartles. Bartles down the left wing sends one on goal. Russell makes the easy save with the pad, and he'll cover for another face-off here. 2:03 to go in the first. Gamecocks getting their feet under them, getting some more chances here as time continues. And again, when you spend 6 hours on the bus and there was the stress of are they even going to get to the rink in time? So that makes the slow start a little understandable here. But again, Coach Sirois said it on the bus. These are 2 big points. A division rival, again, only the second time the Gamecocks have played a division rival. And 2 shots off the goalpost right there. Just to the right of Trip Russell. Back out to the point. Tennessee sends one. It's knocked down in the slot off the foot of Avery Pruden, who's favoring that left skate a little bit. Pruden goes into the boards hard there with Drew King. Tennessee captain works that puck away. That stick all the way up into the air. Lifted out by Avery Pruden. Now the shot off the skate of Tyler Oakley. He'll try to clear that one, but Tennessee knocks that one back down. Back out at the point, it's Josh Main. Scrapping for that one, Tyler Oakley. And he'll race this one all the way back out. Stretch pass does not touch the stick of Julian Reese. He will plead his case, but icing will come all the way back down to our right. And in behind all of that, Avery Pruden tangled with Danny Brooker, gave him the old stick lift, the yard sail. That stick of Brooker sailed about 15 feet into the air, and it came right back down. Brooker caught it. That was a nice little behind-the-scenes play for Brooker and the Volunteers. Again, we said Pruden was favoring that left leg. We'll see if that becomes a factor for the remainder of this game. He's off the ice now. Joe Collega steps on with Tyler Oakley. Oakley started the game with McGowan, but Sirois already electing to shuffle up the defensive pairs. Offensive zone faceoff, or defensive zone faceoff rather, won by the Gamecocks. Bolger carries this one. He had some trouble with it. Makes a dangerous pass out of his own zone, but it's picked up on the far side by Luke Rudman. Onsides are the Gamecocks. Volunteers disagree. But into the zone regardless comes the puck. Bolger battling for it. Centering one there, no one home. It drifts all the way out past Joe Collega. Fired back in now. The Volunteers take over. Redirected in at the blue line. Another chance there and a glove save for Trip Russell. Michael Curtis trying to go high on the Carolina goaltender. And Russell makes the save. Keeps it at a 2-0 clip. 44 seconds left in this first period. 24 shots on goal total in this one so far. 13 for Tennessee, 11 for South Carolina. Now a 3-on-2 develops here for the Gamecocks. That pass too far for Owen Thomas. No icing. Underneath, Thomas sends a man down. A booming check in behind the goal. Got Braden Frost a shoulder-to-chest contact there. And now it is Thomas with the puck. Top of the circle, sends it back down off the skate there of Frost. Set across there, a shot sent just wide. Off the stick of Thomas again. Thomas, another shot there. Shaw made the save. He never even saw it. Jackal the shot there. Another save there. Loose at top of the crease. Move back out. Final 10 of this period. Smith redirects one over the shoulder of Shaw into the glass. Smith bodied off the puck. Sent all the way back out there. Batted down by a Tennessee stick. And we will have icing with 1.7 remaining. Alan Sirois waves off his goaltender. Gamecocks will send out the extra attacker for this offensive zone faceoff. Julian Reese, that extra skater. Egan, Smith, Owen Thomas, Julian Reese, Nick Peters, and Hunter Jackal. Smith lined up. It's a near side faceoff circle. Smith, the left-handed shot, lined up in behind Ronan Egan. They'll drop it. Tennessee wins it. And so with 20 minutes in the books, we will go to intermission. Tennessee on top, 2-0. Czar and Curtis, the goal scorers. We will send you to a break. Maybe take a nap. I know it's 12:12 a.m. Welcome to October the 26th. So take a nap, make some coffee, make some popcorn, do whatever you want. We'll come back here in about 10 minutes or so, and we'll have the second period for you here. South Carolina trails Tennessee 2-0 after 20 minutes of play on the Capital City Sports Network, all presented by SGTV. All right, welcome back here to the Capital City Sports Network through 20 minutes of play. Tennessee on top 2-0 here. They outshot South Carolina 13-12 in that first period. So the Gamecocks have a considerable margin that they need to dig themselves out of. Coach Sirwant and his Gamecocks trying to get their minds right here for the second period. The slow start was really what killed them through those first 20 minutes. If you were just with us, the goals just not even 3 minutes in there. First one coming off the stick of Michael Czar, unassisted there. And then at the 13-15 mark, the second Tennessee goal potted there by Michael Curtis. He had another opportunity where he almost potted a second. His second would have been the team's third. So the Gamecocks very nearly going down 3-0 here. They go 0 for 2 on the power play in the first period. Tennessee 0 for 1. No carryover penalties for either club. So we start 5-on-5. South Carolina to move left to right to start out this second period. And so underway here. Gamecocks try to win it forward. It's Ronan Egan's line on to start things out. Owen Thomas, a quick shot. Save made there by Brandon Shaw. He got the stick on that one. And now batted out back towards the point. Gamecocks hold it in. Solid stick work there by Ronan Egan, but taken back the other way by Captain Drew King. King down the right wing. Right-handed shot tangles with Ryan McGowan in behind the boards, and a big hit there. Looks like McGowan got the worst of it, though. And now the net has come off. So 25 seconds into this second period, and it all stops. Offensive zone draw coming forth to South Carolina. They'll come to the left of the goaltender. Having some trouble here with the net, trying to get that puck, or get the netting back on, rather. A better start to this first period in a relatively small sample size, but a better start to this second period than the Gamecocks had in the first. Still more trouble with that net down to our left. They've got it back on its moorings, but it's not quite as secure as the officials would like. So offensive zone faceoff out to the far side, forthcoming for Tennessee. They'll win this one across, but they'll rule that it was dropped. Somebody had encroached there on the faceoff there, so King and Egan will square off once again. Both men right-handed shots. King able to win this one on his backhand here. It bounces at the top of the circles. Tennessee takes that one, and a delayed tripping call forthcoming here. Tyler Oakley will go to the box, but play continues. King sends that one off the skate of Ronan Egan. Picked up by Ryan McGowan. And so right before Shaw gets to the bench, Gamecocks will touch that one up, and we've got our first penalty of the second period. So not the ideal start to the second period here for South Carolina, especially one where they already trail. 2-0 the score. Center point on the power play here. Cadmus now across for Richter. Far side down low. Centering pass there knocked down by Nick Peters. A bouncing puck swatted away there by Garrett Griffiths. And out of the near side, Cadmus. Harry Cadmus across there. Taken by one of the goal scorers in Curtis. Backhanded by Ricker down low for Cadmus. Away from Nick Peters, now Matt Owen reaches out to get a stick on it. Nick Peters from below the goal line. Has some trouble there to contend with Gary Griffiths. Center point, it's Richter. Winds, fires one. It leaks through Russell, but he got enough of a piece on it that it goes wide. Matt Owen skies this one out. Back in behind Brandon Shaw's goal. And so it'll be wristed back out. Volunteers trying to start their control breakout. Fired back in, though, by Colin Burke. Far side corner, gathering some speed here over the line is Kenny Richter. Into Gamecock territory, pulls up in the corner, watched closely by Colin Burke. Burke grabs a handful of Griffith's jersey, can't get the puck. And now it drifts all the way back out. The Volunteers can't hold that one in. Rolling puck out at center ice. Picked up by Cadmus. Retreats to his own zone. Sends one across here on the D-to-D pass. It's Curtis. He lost that puck in behind the goal. Julian Reese hounding him for possession. Cadmus has to race in behind the shelter of his net. And still, Julian Reese get him some whacks with the stick. Almost got the puck there, but it's Curtis into the Gamecock zone now. Relieved of control by Colin Burke. Sends this one all the way out on the backhand, and a line change forthcoming. 26 seconds to go. on the tripping minor to Tyler Oakley. 17:46 to go in the period. Gamecocks still trail 2-0. Banville sends one just wide past the blocker. Russell, follow-up chance. Where's the puck? It stays out there. Sharp angle shot. Drew King sent that one towards the goal. Some of the Volunteers celebrated like the puck went in. But that is not the case here. Final seconds tick off the Gamecock power play. Out of the box is Oakley. Makes a beeline for the Gamecock bench. And off this one, an icing. So a defensive zone faceoff forthcoming for South Carolina. 17:18 to go here in the second period. Off the penalty kill, some 5-on-5 play coming up, at least for the moment, and a chance for South Carolina to get back in this hockey game. King to take the draw for Tennessee. It comes back Hunter Jackal there, and bouncing off that one, loose in the slot area, comes free. Quick shot, they score! Off the spinning opportunity. A loose puck in the slot. None of the Gamecocks could get a good handle on it. Fired down below the blocker of Trip Russell. And Max Galpin's got his 5th goal of the season. A quick strike early on here. Galpin puts Tennessee on top 3-0. The largest margin that the Gamecocks have trailed all season. McGowan sends this one back in to the Tennessee zone. Drew King and Brooker get the assists on the Galpin goal. So after this whistle here, the Gamecocks will have a neutral zone face-off to contend with here. And it just looks like the Gamecocks have come out flat here. Tennessee's come ready to play, ready to compete. Gamecocks still trying to find their footing. It's a little difficult without their captain, but certainly they've got players that can fill the void. Is this one drifting back in? Trip Russell covers that one up for another face-off here. A lot of standing around in the defensive zone for South Carolina. They seem to be just unsure of what exactly to do and where to go on some of these broken plays. The Gamecocks compress themselves in the slot as a save made by Russell. Bounces around, he lunges out and covers up that rebound there. A bit of a strange play, but Russell makes the best of it. But again, the Gamecocks, they just retreat in between the hash marks and down below the tops of the circles. They bunch themselves up and open a ton of passing lanes for Tennessee. And you saw right there the bunching up of South Carolina allowed Max Galpin to slip free. And now a chance back the other way. It's Owen Thomas on the breakaway. Thomas shoots one just high and wide there. And Thomas crashes into the board. It's going to be an odd man rush back for Tennessee. But the Gamecocks break that one up. High and wide there for Owen Thomas. May have caught the glove of Brandon Shaw. Below the goal, it's King. Back out to the point. Tennessee hammers one on goal. Knocked down in front by Tyler Oakley. Loose puck played back out. It's Ronan Egan now down the right wing for South Carolina. Broken up there by Kenny Richter. Tyler Oakley joins the fray, and the puck comes free. Volunteers shovel this one high out off the glass, where it's swatted down by Owen Thomas. And now Tennessee off the breakout again. Ben Smith reaches back, gets a stick in there. Breaks up that play. So Richter begins again from his own zone. Stretch pass out to the far side. Tennessee trying to center that one. It goes off the skate of Joe Collega. And now the Gamecocks have control again. Sends this one. Egan up for Chad Lazine down the left side with Thomas streaking late. A shot save made by Shaw. That puck right down. He gets it with the left elbow there pinned against the hip. And so 15:32 to go. Second period. Thanks to the Max Galpin goal. Tennessee out 3-0. Owen Thomas very nearly able to light the lamp there for South Carolina. And now off the penalty here, we've got a volunteer in the penalty box. Gamecocks to the power play. It must have been a behind-the-play penalty there. Josh Main in the box here for Tennessee. Gamecocks back to the power play. They'll control from their own zone. We haven't heard any official booking on this one yet, but the Gamecocks break it out. It's broken up there by the stick of one of the Volunteers. A slashing call here to Maine. Bolger through neutral territory on this Gamecock power play. Down the right side, pulls up, spinnings off his check, sends it across for McGowan. And now far side, Peters sends one towards the net, knocked down in front. Bouncing puck there, batted near the goal by Luke Rudman. He's still below the goal, centers one for McGowan. It comes all the way back out. Bolger's going to have to race back to get this one. Out of his net is Russell. Pulls it in for Bolger. And now Bolger sends this one across for McGowan. Near side, gathering speed. The defenseman brings things in for South Carolina. Takes a shot there, blocker save. Rebound, and another save there by Shaw. Two big opportunities. Still, McGowan slaps his rebound underneath the Tennessee goal to the near side, Nick Peters. Peters sends this one off the boards there for Luke Rudman, and back down low still for Julian Reese. Reese working out of the corner through the official. Still has the puck there through two Volunteers. Now it's finally turned over into the corner. They're swatted at. And now Peters has it. Heads towards the goal. Takes one on goal. Save made by Shaw. He got the right pad out on that one. And the rebound cleared all the way down. And now Michael Curtis slips in all the way back short-handed for Tennessee in behind the Gamecock net. Neither one of the Gamecock defenders can really get to him. He sends that one off the outside of the cage. And now Nick Peters takes over with 26 to go on the Gamecock power play. Bolger avoids a check in neutral territory. Sends one on goal just wide. And it comes back out where Nick Peters controls. Peters back for Joe Collega here in Gamecock territory now through neutral ice. He'll send that one on goal. Easily sticked aside by the goaltender Shaw. And now Tennessee breaks things out shorthanded. Egan picks it up though. Might be an odd man rush. Egan down the left side. Takes a shot. Save made by Shaw. Loose puck in the air. It's knocked down. Comes back to the point. And Oakley sends one towards the net. Off the outside of the cage and wide. Even strength here. Oakley in the face-off circle. Sends one on goal. Shaw makes that save again. And he will cover up here for a face-off as Powderly. A little dust up there in the slot with Drew King. Powderly back to his feet. The men are separated here, and 13-18 to go in the second period. Offensive zone draw forthcoming for South Carolina. Corey Hawkinson facing off against Bobby Stoberski. Stoberski able to win the draw back, but Ronan Egan in on a centering pass intended for Hawkinson. That play broken up there. Tennessee stingy on defense tonight. Now a big hit by Joe Collega along the near side. Bartles goes down. And in Gamecock territory, Corey Hawkinson, the center, flicks this one off the boards. Hammered back into the Gamecock zone by the Volunteers. Russell behind his net to stop it for Tyler Oakley. Oakley sends one up for Egan. Some more intent passing here for South Carolina. Ian Powderly sent one intended for Joe Collega. And now out of the fray, Ronan Egan able to just dish this one back into the far side corner into the Tennessee zone. 12.5 to go here. Gamecocks still trail 3-0. Galpin, the most recent Tennessee goal. Loose puck taken away at the slot. At the point, backhanded back in by Tyler Oakley. Powderly takes a crunch down low in the Volunteer zone. Finally, Tennessee gets it to the point. Oakley wrists one on goal. And hit Richter in the shin guard. He'll head towards the bench. Volunteers send this one back in. And now another Volunteer goes down. We've got a delayed penalty in behind the play, boarding against Tyler Oakley. Kyra Bartles slowly collects himself. And the parade to the penalty box for South Carolina continues. Gamecocks really just they're just not showing any sort of emotion here. It's been an empty game so far for South Carolina. Doesn't mean they can't turn it around. But they've got another penalty kill to work with here. As this one backhanded all the way back down. Matt Owen trying to force a turnover there, and the Volunteers gather some speed here through the zone. Garrett Griffiths. Far side, Banville sends one off the outside of the cage there. Bumped off the puck is Ryan McGowan. Rob Lawrence crunches Galpin along the near side. He comes in along with McGowan. And Danny Brooker, too. Still, those players battle for it along the near side corner. Finally comes underneath the Gamecock net. And another crunch in the corner off a hand pass will be called. Face off to come back in the South Carolina zone. Danny Brooker had Nick Peters all but lined up in that far side corner. Peters able to duck out at the last second and avoid a A thunderous body check there. Rob Lawrence at the instruction of Coach Sirwa to take the face-off here. It's one back by the Volunteers. Point shot high and wide there. May have got the blocker of Trip Russell. Back out, blue line, shot knocked down in front off the skate of McGowan. Picked up there by Brooker. And McGowan fires this one all the way back down. They will clear here with 1:06 to go on the Oakley minor for boarding. Volunteers try to break this one out. It's turned over, though. Hawkinson, top of the circle, sends one in front. Owen Thomas, a shot. Open net. Hawkinson was denied there. Solid defensive play. Coming back to play that one was Czar. Volunteers into the zone now. After a shorthanded opportunity for South Carolina, they regain control on the power play. Banville back down low. Off the stick there of Brooker. Solid collision. This puck drifts all the way back down again. Tennessee territory. Owen Thomas sidesteps a man. He's first to the puck, though. Short-handed, Owen Thomas tries to feed Hawkinson in the slot. It drifts all the way back out, and Hunter Jackal just able to clear this one in off the high glass. 26 seconds here on the man advantage. Hawkinson off the turnover, though, in the slot. Hawkinson backhands one over to Owen Thomas. A shot off the outside of the cage. Thomas still out to Burke at the point. Sends one. Easy glove save there. Although it appeared easy, Brandon Shaw bobbled that puck a little bit there. Able to hold on to it after some head shakes from Owen Thomas. Can't believe he didn't score right there. But he will bring it back to the bench here. 10:23 to go, second period. 13 seconds on the man advantage. An offensive zone face-off for the shorthanded Gamecocks. It'll be one back by the Volunteers, cleared out. Joe Collega's got to race back here. Onsides, the Volunteers bring it in with some speed out to the far side. Collega makes a nice diving block. That puck ricocheted off a Trip Russell. Made a save and he didn't even know it. Now a 2-on-1, shorthanded. Bolger and Reese down the right side. Reese, far side now, sends it back for Bolger. Alone in front, backhand shot, big save by Shaw. He sprawls out and denies Bolger with the glove. Out of the box is Tyler Oakley. Back the other way come the Volunteers, a shorthanded, or odd man rush instead of their own. Broken up by Reese. 2-on-1 back the other way. Reese with Bolger down the right side again. Reese shoots one. Save made by Shaw. And he's got the puck in his pads. Goaltending clinic put on here by Brandon Shaw. Robs Bolger all alone in front and then stones Julian Reese on the ensuing 2-on-1. Gamecocks finding their offensive footing here, but Brandon Shaw barricading the door shut for the Volunteers. Third line stays on for South Carolina. Reese at center between Luke Rudman and Mike Bolger. Oakley and Collega at the point. Collega's been out there for a long time so far tonight, most likely the Gamecocks leader in ice time. As off the draw, this one comes free. Luke Rudman sends it back down low for Reese. Tries to backhand that one for Rudman. A miscommunication there, but the puck sent back in there by Joe Collega. Racing in, Tyler Oakley pinches to the half wall. Sends one into the slot area. Ricocheted off of King. And it's popped back out. The Volunteers take control. They gain some speed. It is King here. Out through center ice, and offsides will be called. Down on the ice there, Danny Brooker tried to stretch to stay on sides. But so the faceoff comes back out to the neutral zone. End-to-end action here as we've passed the middle stages of this hockey game. Gamecocks and Volunteers trading chances left and right. Neutral zone draw, worked back out, and then thrown back in by Tennessee. Ryan McGowan to pick things up. And a stretch pass intended there for Ben Smith, still hunting for that first goal of the season. Ryan McGowan now through neutral zone. Corey Hawkinson pokes one free past Maine. Now it comes back in now. Right side, Hawkinson sends one in front for Smith, and Shaw denies him again. An open net, Shaw stones Smith. Second period, Shaw's putting on a virtuoso here in net. Another shot there goes wide. Smith got the paddle down on that one. And now Tennessee bounces this one out towards center. Nick Peters has some trouble with it. He's able to shovel this one over, intended for Ryan McGowan. But Richter picks it up and throws this one high. Trip Russell gets the glove on that one and drops it off in behind his goal for McGowan. Stretch pass, batted down there. Solid hand-eye coordination by Ronan Egan. A 200-foot pass, icing negated there because Egan got the touch on it. McGowan looks to finish his check. That puck leaked through the man out towards center. An awkward collision in front of the penalty box doors. And now McGowan's going to battle here with one of the Volunteers. McGowan going after it now. It's hard to see who it is. McGowan dusting up here with Garrett Griffiths. He has to be separated. Griffiths, incredulous with McGowan. Getting some pushes here against his own teammate, John Clark. Clark having to restrain Griffiths. McGowan certainly going to be taken to the penalty box for this one. And Griffiths is still giving it to him. I didn't see the play that sent McGowan off. Griffiths has some words for Ian Powderly as well. The crowd has its own opinions on the matter. Rob Lawrence in the penalty box, as well as Ryan McGowan. Griffiths the lone man in for Tennessee. So we'll have to sort all this out, but through this, regardless of what the play was that set this in motion, you got to think at the back of Ryan McGowan's mind, or maybe at the front of his mind, was just trying to stir the pot and get things going for his team. You know, you're at that 3-0 deficit. The shots on goal aren't working. Shaw's putting on an absolutely incredible performance. You're getting the chances, but a breakthrough is necessary, so, you know, why not mix it up physically? We'll see if it pays off for him here. More of a conversation between the officials and the penalty box workers. Colton Banville out there to talk things over for Tennessee. Ronan Egan as well. Egan assuming the role of not captain, but the most involved in these conversations in the absence of Captain Cam Mecca. So we finally got some peace sorted out here. Or so it would appear. Gamecocks out shooting Tennessee 25-19. Still, Tennessee has the advantage in the goal column. An extended conversation going on here between Egan and the linesman. Rob Lawrence standing in the penalty box door. Not sure if he should come off or go on. We'll listen in here to see what the officials tell on the Gamecock bench. It's going to be a long one. 4-on-3 for 2 minutes. So we got a 4-minute double minor up there to Garrett Griffiths. Hang on here. We'll get it. Just sit tight. 4 minutes for roughing to Garrett Griffiths. McGowan and Lawrence get 2 each for roughing. So Griffiths, McGowan, and Lawrence in the box here. Griffiths assigned 4 minutes for roughing. Ryan McGowan and Rob Lawrence each assigned 2. We'll skate 4-on-3. Tennessee on the man advantage here. Off the draw in Gamecock territory. Racing back shorthanded is Ronan Egan. Down the left side, takes the shot. Shaw makes the save. That one right on. And why not? You're down 3-0. Why not take some chances? Ronan Egan not afraid to use the wheels there and gain some separation. 1 forward and 2 defensemen on for South Carolina. Egan the lone forward. Tyler Oakley and Joe Collega out there at the point for South Carolina. Defensive zone draw, won by Tennessee. They'll bring it up the ice slowly, deliberately. Dangling around Egan. To the point, Richter sends one back down low, sweeping across there. Richter on the follow-up chance, sends a blast wide. Richter with a howitzer, and Collega clears this one. It goes off a stanchion to Richter at center ice. He spins over his right shoulder, brings it back in again. Richter away from Collega, spins into the slot area, sends one across far side to Curtis. Curtis at the hash marks, looks across there. Taken by Cadmus. Center point, Richter. Minute 16 to go on the 4-on-3. Cadmus sends one across there. Solid defensive stick by Tyler Oakley to get that puck away there. And now Ronan Egan wheeling out towards center. He's stripped of control, but offsides. Volunteers got in a little over anxious. 7:30 to go in the second period. Tennessee still leading 3-0. A minute and 6 seconds to go on the 4-on-3. So after that, the Gamecocks should go to a power play through all of this. Banville forced out wide by Owen Thomas, but in behind the goal of Trip Russell. Now back out to the point where it's taken by Czar. Across now for King. Back to Czar, able to hold that puck in on the friendly side of the blue line. Sends it from across now for Banville. Banville patrolling the blue line. Sends one. Back over for Czar off the boards. Sent back down low here for Galpin. King now near side boards. Gamecocks collapsed in the slot. Centering point there. A long shot. They score! A floater through traffic upstairs. Colton Banville scores on the power play. And Tennessee is up 4-0. Just solid puck control there by the Tennessee power play. Lots of ice to work with there, and they work it to their advantage. And that one, it just, Trip Russell never saw it. Colton Banville, the right-handed shot, flicked one from about halfway in between the blue line and the top of the circles. It goes up over the glove of Russell. Tennessee's on top, 4-0 here. Julian Reese offering some pushback for South Carolina. Springs Bolger, that puck just too far for him. A delayed penalty coming up here to Tennessee. Russell being waved off here. Underneath, Collega plays that one. He's sent down. Gamecock still with it. Played in front of Bolger in the slot. 5 men on for South Carolina. Collega shoots one, and Shaw gets a blocker on that. It comes back now for Bolger. Bolger sends it across. Reese has it. Fires, scores! Julian Reese gets the Gamecocks on the board with the extra attacker on from the delayed penalty. 6:25 to go, second period. And finally, the Gamecocks light the lamp. Julian Reese scores that one. It's 4-on-4, but the Gamecocks had the extra attacker. And so Reese, his 8th goal of the campaign, has the Gamecocks on the board. 4 goals is quite the roadblock to overcome. 3 goals is not quite as much, obviously. But it's a long road to redemption here for South Carolina. Gamecocks now to the power play. Still in the box is Griffiths on that 4-minute double minor. And now Maine heads to the penalty box in exchange for Griffiths. Not entirely sure what the thinking is here. Griffiths heads back to the Tennessee penalty box. Maine to serve the remaining 2 minutes here. There must have been another penalty in behind the play as now Griffiths heads back to the penalty box. Well, we'll just see what happens. So now Griffiths and Maine are in the penalty box for Tennessee. Why not? We've got no more penalties up on the boards. All we've got is 2 minutes remaining to Griffiths, the initial penalty. And now another penalty has just been tacked up on the board. Josh Maine. 5-on-3 forthcoming for South Carolina. All of this coming out of nowhere. Some penalties in behind. We thought because the Gamecocks had scored on the delayed penalty that the penalty would be washed out. So the officials, one of them wants to drop the puck. The linesman's ready to drop the puck. The official is having a conversation at the penalty box. And now a 1-minute penalty up on the board. That doesn't make any sense. Now all the penalties have been taken off. Well, we've got to sort this one out here. Rob Lawrence has just returned to the penalty box for South Carolina. Never a dull moment. 2 minutes and 1 second have been put off on the penalty to Griffiths. Well, forget the hockey game. We're just gonna call the play-by-play of the penalties for now. 4-1 the score up on the board here. Nice jumbotron at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. Again, host to the Knoxville Ice Bears. We have 3 penalties for the home club. 2 minutes up there for Josh Maine. They're playing musical penalties up here. Gamecocks ahead in the shot category, 27-20. 26 saves being made for you mathematicians out there by Brandon Shaw. He's played absolutely spectacular throughout the first half of this hockey game. So now 4-on-3, it would appear, is how we'll skate. South Carolina the 4, Tennessee the 3. Julian Reese off the draw. We've got some hockey once more here from Knoxville. Reese off the draw. Lawrence steps out of the penalty box. 5-on-3 for a minute 53. Now it's Powderly in the slot. Sends one on goal just high, though. It catches the glass. Powderly wanted to rip the roof off. McGowan on the 5-on-3. Patrols the blue line. Sends one near side for Powderly. Looking for that seam pass. Fired all the way back down towards the Tennessee bench. Solid clear by Richter. Minute 36 on the two-man advantage for South Carolina. Julian Reese brings it ahead, near side, down the wing. Minute 25 remaining on that 5-on-3. Peters at the point. This is one on the backhand for Julian Reese. Hesitates on the shot, moves back, sends it across for Peters, has to kick that one out of his skates. Now cross-ice pass picked off. Julian Reese sends one, save made, rebound laying right there. Ian Powderly couldn't stuff it home. To the point now again, it's Julian Reese. Sends one through traffic, redirected by Powderly, up into the netting. And we will have another stoppage here. 5:25 to go in the second period. A minute exactly remaining on the 5-on-3 for South Carolina. Main and Griffiths still in the box for Tennessee. Offensive zone draw won by the Gamecocks. It's Bolger on the far side wall. McGowan wants it at the point. He's going to get it. McGowan walks in, fires one, save made by Shaw again. He got the blocker on that one. Banville brings it into the corner. He's taken the task there by Bolger and Powderly. And now Julian Reese. Puck taken there by Ian Powderly. Takes an awkward bounce off a stanchion. And now McGowan. Center point. Peters winds, fires through traffic. And another save by Shaw. This one lofted all the way back down. A couple of skips. And Trip Russell paddles that one down. 30 seconds to go. Two-man advantage for South Carolina. This puck brought ahead by Nick Peters. Drops it off for Ben Smith, fresh from the bench. Give and go with Peters. Smith gets it back. Underneath, Peters again. Out of Buffalo, New York, Nick Peters, the sophomore. From the hash marks now. Across, Hawkinson at the point. Lets one go. It goes just wide. And it'll bounce free past Peters, but held in the blue line by McGowan. McGowan sends one on goal. Shaw makes the save. The loose puck sitting right there. He dives out on top of it, but it's still loose. And now finally a glove on top. Some more shoves for Ben Smith in front. And Tennessee has killed off their penalties. Gamecocks unable to capitalize on the power play here. Another offensive zone faceoff forthcoming for South Carolina. 4:24 left in the second period. That faceoff bounces back up. Corey Hawkinson goes behind the goal for the Gamecocks. Bouncing out on the far side now. They're going to be taken by Pete Bunch, turned over in the slot. Nearly a dangerous opportunity for South Carolina, but the Volunteers break things out with control through the neutral zone. Evades Julian Reese, and Joe Collega gets stuffed. Collecting himself now and the puck. It's taken by Corey Hawkinson over center red. Hawkinson has that puck knifed away from his control. Owen Thomas bails him out. And now with it at the hash marks is Thomas. Thomas dishes it off. A quick shot in the slot there. Ronan Egan has that puck knocked down. Never got to the net. And now back the other way with some speed. A 2-on-1 develops here. It's Curtis towards the goals. Takes the shot. Russell the save. Michael Curtis. It's that quick burst of speed. He beats Collega wide. And that left-handed shot down the left wing. Russell playing a little deep in his net. He gets the shoulder up on that one. Makes the save here. Able to keep it at 4-1. 3:40 to go, second period. Tennessee in the offensive zone. They'll win that near side faceoff. It's Clark out of the corner there. Ryan McGowan sends this one out towards the boards for Chad Lazine. He takes it off a skate. Now that bouncing puck corralled by Julian Reese. Gets it to Ryan McGowan. Miscommunication there. Bolger doesn't want that puck. He'll have to come back to play it. Clark knifing that one away from him, but Bolger still works it out towards center ice. Griffiths. And now in the Gamecock zone, across for Peters. He's playing with McGowan the last little bit here. Now a turn over the blue line. Sent one in front. Might be paddled aside there by Trip Russell. Sent back down the bouncer, out off the glass. Underneath for Nick Peters as we approach the 3-minute mark here in the second. Out off the side of the Gamecock net. A turnover, though. Tennessee has it. Easy save by Russell. And the following stick in there by Griffiths. Tries to get the poke check. But Trip Russell gets the glove on top for another face-off. The Gamecocks look tired. Passes aren't connecting. The breakout isn't materializing as it's been drawn up. As we hit 1 a.m. Still 22:53 of hockey left to play here, at least of regulation. As we near the end of the second period, Tennessee still on top 4-1. Julian Reese, the lone Gamecock goal, as this one played in back by Hunter Jackal out of Gamecock territory. Wristed back in. Colin Burke along the far side. At the goal line. Taken into the boards there by Danny Brooker. Now a bouncer into the Gamecock slot, taken by Powderly, escorted out as far as the neutral zone. Now it drifts back in. Volunteers shovel that one off the end boards behind their net. At center ice, Collega now. Wrists one, long range, past the blocker of Shaw. Rudman creates a turnover here. And offsides is called, a delayed offsides at that. Rudman was able to work his way all the way back in and just disrupt a breakout pass. And so from the offsides, the faceoff comes in the neutral zone. It's quiet down there on the ice. From both clubs, really, not a lot of conversation on the bench. We're actually set up 4 rows in behind the benches. Penalty box is across from us. Oakley wants to bring that puck into the offensive zone, but Ben Smith being held down on the ice. Delayed offsides. Finally, Smith gathers his feet, touches up. He'll be the first man in on this Gamecock forecheck. Lays a solid hit against Richter. Bouncing puck settled back out. At the hash marks, backhanded up. Collega able to hold this one in. And now it's handed back out. 2-on-1 develops. Curtis down the right side. Sends one across. Centering pass there. Couldn't be handled by Cadmus. Had an open net. Just couldn't pull that puck out of his skates. And an opportunity for Tennessee almost to increase the score to 5-1. Pass intended for Pete Bunch goes awry. All the way back down for the icing where it's touched up by Tyler Oakley. Gamecocks still out shooting their opponents. The margin has increased, 32-23. Minute 34 to go in this second period. Powderly receiving some extra instruction from the bench. He waves Owen Thomas onto the ice. Egan steps in to take the draw. Powderly lined up directly behind him. Tennessee wins the draw out of their own zone. They'll rim this one back around. Nick Peters touches this one up. Pete Bunch gets into the slot area. Knocked off the puck there. Hauled down. Play continues. Gamecocks have it. It's Egan now. He lost the puck, though. Volunteers have it. Right around in front. A loose puck in front. Almost tacked home there by Josh Main. And now again it's loose in front. Russell able to get the paddle down. And now a delayed penalty. The net's off, but play's going to continue. And finally, Ian Powderly's going to be sent off here. Gamecocks will be a man short for the rest of the second period. Powderly sent a man into the Gamecock net with what appears to be a cross check. So he'll sit for 2. Yet another power play here for Tennessee. Through all of it, we haven't had any power play goals. Offensive zone draw taken back now by Tennessee. They'll work this one down low to the goal line. Back out towards the point. Intended there for Michael Czar. It'll drift all the way back. Czar's going to have to pick this one up under a minute to play in the second. Watched closely there by Ronan Egan. And now, as they bring this one through, a hit from behind. This one sent all the way back down there by Nick Peters. As we hit 30 seconds left. Nick Peters swats this one in front of the South Carolina penalty box. And Tennessee controls. It's Brooker into the slot there. Knocked off of it. Puck taken by Ronan Egan. He'll just guide that one into the near side corner. And McGowan continues the battle here with Drew King. And McGowan gets steamrolled, and that'll bring a penalty. McGowan down on the ice in pain. Danny Brooker sent to the penalty box. A late hit there from Brooker will even things up here. McGowan finally back to his feet. We'll skate 4-on-4 for the remaining 16.3 of this second period. And you had to know things weren't quite done between Ryan McGowan and these Tennessee Volunteers. It was Garrett Griffiths that mixed up with McGowan earlier in this period, but Danny Brooker puts an exclamation point on this one. Econ major out of Philadelphia. Got a couple of Philadelphia guys here on this Gamecocks team. Ronan Egan out of Bluebell, PA, near the Philadelphia area. Bolger from Downingtown. Avery Prudence from Bloomsburg. That's northeastern Pennsylvania up near Wilkes-Barre. But still, that's relatively close to Philadelphia. So a 5-minute major assessed here. Well, they've announced 2 minutes for charging, but 5 minutes sit up on the board here. So as the final seconds tick off here, Corey Hawkinson gets a knee at center ice. Play will end. And so, through 40 minutes of play, the margin is widened. South Carolina getting on the board thanks to Julian Reese. But thanks to Banville and Galpin, Tennessee sits with a 4-1 lead as we enter the second intermission. We'll step aside here, and when we come back, period number 3 from the Knoxville Civic Coliseum on the Capital City Sports Network, presented by SGTV. All right, welcome back to the Capital City Sports Network. The biggest third period of the season forthcoming. South Carolina trails Tennessee by a score of 4-1. And the fight to remain perfect is on for South Carolina. For those of you that are still with us, your prize is in the mail. As 1 o'clock in the morning has come and gone, Gamecocks will give it one last push to get back in the fight. We had some problems with the internet here. The stream went down for a moment. It seems to be back now. If you can't hear me, let me know, all right? I'll try to work it out for you. But Gamecocks and Volunteers start at 4-on-4 here in this third period. 4-1 the score, Tennessee on top. Out to the far side there, 50-50 puck picked up by Rob Lawrence, moved ahead there. Past Tyler Oakley, now a loose puck again in the slot. Diving play by Tyler Oakley. Rob Lawrence, rather. Now the puck comes back. Tennessee on the attack. Played off that one, Pete Bunch. And now working this one out of the Gamecock corner. Tennessee plays that one onto the back end for Richter. All the way back. He'll have to get this one himself. Out into the neutral territory. Gamecocks have it. Tyler Oakley sends this one back right on goal for Shaw. He'll redirect this one into the corner. Ariella, thank you so much for telling me that you can hear me. That puts my mind at ease. And so Tennessee works this one out from the blue line. And now Oakley takes a stick up high in the neutral zone. He's down, and he's in some considerable pain. Finally, play stops. Oakley back to his feet here. He got a stick up in the head area, in the throat maybe. He's worked off under his own power. Being tended to now by equipment manager Alan Gordon. Coach Sirwa hollering for a high sticking call. None forthcoming. And so with 3:47 left on what looked to be a major penalty to Danny Brooker back at the end of the second period. It was announced as a minor penalty for cross-checking, but 5 were put up on the board. And now Rob Lawrence is skating over to the South Carolina penalty box. And so the faceoff will move down. I believe Alan Sirwa was given a bench minor. We'll wait for the official announcement. So 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. And then after that, we will have a minute and 47 seconds of a Gamecock power play. Rob Lawrence in the box right now with Brooker for Tennessee. It's been a confusing night, if anything, especially in terms of penalties. McGill now, offensive zone draw. One-time shot there from the point. Thunders wide. In behind Trip. Russell's net. Now play right in front. They score! Galpin all alone in front, cashes in on the backhand. He beats Russell to the glove side. Tennessee 5, South Carolina 1. Galpin's second of the night. And Rob Lawrence had left the penalty box. Now he come back. Tennessee just what they've done all night. They just worked that puck down low into the danger areas. Quick 1-2 punch right out into the slot, and a great job by Galpin to get that puck up on the backhand. So the Gamecocks have 3 skaters out right now. Now 4, Joe Collega comes on. The official holding up 4s on both hands. So 4-on-4 here. 18:52 to go in the third period, and the Gamecocks are moving in the wrong direction on the scoreboard. 5-1 now, they trail to Tennessee. Offensive zone turnover, though, and Collega fires one high and wide. Galpin from King there at the 107 mark. And now Collega has it, though. Offensive zone shot just wide by Shaw. He lost an edge there. Brandon Shaw. Lawrence was given the unsportsmanlike conduct rap. As now back the other way for Tennessee into the zone. Sharp angle shot. Russell makes the save. Loose puck knocked down in front past Siegfried and Matt Owen as well. Played out at center ice for Tennessee. Drifting back into their own zone. And through that, they'll play this one, and it's King. He's got a step here, and King is off sides. And he'll take a shot anyway. And no one does anything. Well, that's tonight in a nutshell for you. King comes in off sides. They blow the whistles when King is at about the hash marks, and he'll get a penalty. I've never seen that. King's in the box now for Tennessee. And maybe that was why the Gamecocks didn't do anything. 9 times out of 10, if someone comes in on a broken play that's been whistled down and still shoots at your goalie, all 5 players come over and they try to bury him. None of the Gamecocks did that, so we'll skate 4-on-3 right now as King's in the box. Gamecocks to an odd power play here. Bolger out of the near side corner. Back to Peters at the blue line, across. Now, shot there as King's in the box for unsportsmanlike conduct. Now, a quick shot, a riser off the tape of Tyler Oakley. Blocked out of play again by Brandon Shaw. Another offensive zone draw here for South Carolina. Julian Reese on the ice with Mike Bolger, one of those dynamic duos that the Gamecocks have. Now, point shot kicked out there by Shaw off the tape of Tyler Oakley. Nick Peters back down on the half wall for Bolger. Right-handed shot, skates towards the middle of the ice. Bolger wrists one on goal, knocked down. Tyler Oakley, the recipient of that block, even though he didn't mean to do it. Now underneath for Julian Reese. 18 seconds on the 4-on-3. A rising shot again. Off the tape of Julian Reese, catches the glass. The Gamecocks are trying to go upstairs. 5 or 6 times tonight they've tried to go high, and they've just missed the net. Tyler Oakley now brings it in on the power play. Rob Lawrence out of the box. 5-on-3 now for South Carolina for about a minute. Reese sends one down low. Knocked away there by Harry Camdis. And now it's Reese again, down towards the goal. Backhand shot, maybe getting the glove on that one was Shaw. Oakley at the half wall, goes down. Reese pulls the puck out, though. He's got Lawrence headed towards the goal. Reese sends one for Bolger on the backhand. In front, Lawrence can't bury it. And Shaw makes the save. Still, it's loose. They score. Julian Reese tucks the loose puck home after 4 opportunities for South Carolina. They stuff it wide. They can't get the puck out of their skates. Finally, Julian Reese overwhelms Brandon Shaw and slides home his second goal of the night. It's 5-2. That will give Julian Reese his team-leading 9th goal of the season. That crown formerly worn by Captain Cam Mecca with 8, but Reese topples that. And so the Gamecocks making some progress here. Still a 1-man advantage for a minute 15. As the Gamecocks bring this one in, it's Rogan Egan out of the near side. Swatted all the way back down. Trip Russell makes the easy stick save. Ryan McGowan back to pick this one up for South Carolina. Control breakout here. Hawkinson swings. Now it's taken by Owen Thomas at his own blue line. Haven't seen Owen Thomas for quite some time. Now Joe Collega down the near side. Sends one off a shin guard. Rob Lawrence and Tyler Oakley get the assists. And now it's McGowan on the far side. In the circle. Sends one across. Seam pass for Hawkinson. Lets one go. It's knocked out and kicked at there. An effective play by King. And held on sides by McGowan. McGowan, a brilliant play there to keep that puck in. Now it's Egan, a long shot save made by Shaw. Tennessee fans and players alike thought that puck came out, but you just need a sliver of it to keep touching the blue line, and you are good to go. McGowan held that puck in, so play could continue. And McGowan just came to the bench and said that it was offsides, but hey. That's hockey. Underneath the Tennessee net, Owen Thomas maintains control, dishes this one off for Corey Hawkinson, spins away from a check centers. This one, it comes back to Peters. That one knocked down. And Oakley can't hold this one in for sure. It comes back out. He and Peters will have to regroup. Saucer pass picked up. Owen Thomas has trouble with it. Racing after this is Thomas. He shrugs off a collision there. That time with Josh Main. But it comes back to Thomas. Ronan Egan bounced off that one. And now the penalty killed off. All the way back down here. Tyler Oakley picks it up in front of his goaltender. Oakley racing out through neutral territory with some speed, avoids a side check there, and now Powderly sends one. He's tackled, basically. And now a centering pass comes in front for Egan. He couldn't hang on to it. And now off the dasher, that puck bounces all the way. It's pinballing through the Tennessee zone, and they come away with it. Gamecocks racing back on the back check. Now a long shot there. Save made by Russell. He didn't even know he had it. And through all of this, a face-off forthcoming. Michael Curtis, the shooter of that puck. 14:45 to go here in the third period. The deficit is 3. South Carolina coming closer and closer, but Tennessee countering with some opportunities of their own. It seems like a case of 1 step forward, 2 steps back for South Carolina. As that miscommunication, Tennessee tried to center one. It goes off a Gamecock defender. Bounces loosely in front, and Trip Russell able to make the save there. Defensive zone draw lofted out there by Ryan McGowan. Played with a high stick for Tennessee. Delayed call. Well, not delayed call, but the delayed high sticking is waved off. Play continues now. Joe Collega in the neutral zone. Content to just wrist this one back in. Ben Smith has to touch up. As now back behind the net to play this one. Connor Hamill. Bunch turns it over to Smith. Shovels it in on the backhand again. Pass Powderly. Worked back in by the Volunteers. Back in, icing waved off. Ryan McGowan to play things for South Carolina. Turned over to Cadmus and moved back down. McGowan uses the boards to find Collega. Breakout pass. Powderly receives it at center. Dumps it in and heads for the bench. Matt Owen puts a hit on in behind the goal. Ben Smith picks up the puck, sends it back for Owen. Ben Smith hauled down in the corner. Chad Lazine comes away with the puck, sidesteps a man, sends it back to the point in Hunter Jackal. He takes a big hit. Puck bouncing in the corner for Lazine. He can't hang on to it. And now it squirts all the way back out past Jackal. He'll have to take this one in the neutral zone. Smith comes off for a line change. Chad Lazine redirects this one back in. Volunteers try to break this one out. Miscommunicated pass by Bobby Staberski. And now back to the Gamecock zone. Hunter Jackal, rather. He plays this one up off the glass. It bounces out over the blue line and now into neutral territory once more. Gamecocks on the regroup. Backhand pass shoveled out. Jackal for Reese. Played back in by Tennessee. Russell behind the goal to stop things for South Carolina. And now Nick Peters on and over for Chad Lazine. Still got the pink tape on his stick from Pink the Rink last week. A bouncer in the Gamecock zone. Flagged down, played over. Julian Reese has it now. Loses a stride. Picks it up there into Tennessee territory. Reese has it. He's got a man towards the net. Nice move by Reese. Quick shot upstairs, and he missed the net. Brilliant one-man move there by Julian Reese. Now a point shot by Jackal. Redirected. It goes off the goalpost. Now a bouncer picked up at the point. Jackal again sends one towards the net. Knocked down in front. Chad Lazine and Julian Reese jousting for it there. Neither man could come up with it. And now it bounces out for Nick Peters at the point. Bolger holds it in. And now it finally squirts free. Bobby Staberski again into the zone for Tennessee. Onsides, pulls up, top of the circles. His shot knocked down in front. Nick Peters can't handle the bouncing puck. Peters still looks like he's a step slow. Nursing that high ankle sprain. As now Bolger works it into the slot. Knocked back down. Oakley holds it in, sends one off a shin guard. And again, McGowan's blindsided. And now Tennessee picks up the puck. Cadmus shoots one. Russell makes the save. And now it's loose in front. A beautiful diving play by Oakley. And now McGowan's going to get some revenge here. Alone in the slot, delayed penalty. Russell makes the save. McGowan charges after Cadmus. He didn't like that blindside hit. And now he's going to go sit for 2 minutes. It looked like a good, clean hit. Oakley's going to go sit. Now, it's just a case of Ryan McGowan. A tough night for him. He had his head down at open ice, picked up the puck, and it looked like shoulder to chest from my vantage point. Although I'm sure if you're on the receiving end of that hit, you're not going to like it, whether it's clean or not. So one Gamecock in the penalty box. It is Tyler Oakley. His third such visit. And 11:48 here left in the third period. We wait for the ruling. Still some time for South Carolina to get back in it, but Tennessee just trying to hang on and use his power play to cruise to victory here. Now it's Hawkinson, a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Hawkinson, a backhand shot right in and out of the glove. Save made, rebound again. Shaw makes 2 stops. And now Tennessee brings it in 3-on-2 on the power play. Nice move into the slot. They tangled themselves up. A beautiful move there. Ronan Egan shrugs a man off. And now picked up by Joe Collega. Sends one on goal. Right in and out of the glove. A big save again by Shaw. He couldn't handle that puck. Egan gets a shorthanded whack at it. And now played back out. Collega can't hang on. He'll just swat this one back into Tennessee territory. Minute 18 to go. On the man advantage for Tennessee. I'll try to break this one out. It's getting cheeky in behind the play here. Bunch goes down after a collision with Colin Burke. Colton Banville. Michael Curtis now with the puck for Tennessee. Motors his way on into the Gamecock zone. Drops it off for Bunch into the slot. Griffiths the shot. Goes wide past the blocker, Trip Russell. Burke fires this one all the way back out and down. Gets the complete clear. And Ronan Egan, the lone forechecker, on shorthanded for South Carolina. Comes away with the puck, though. Hollering for that is Julian Reese. He can't hang on to it. And now back the other way. Blake Sledge sends one in the slot. King the save. King the shot. Russell the save. Follow-up chance. Russell again makes the stop. 2 big saves by Trip Russell. Doing everything he can to keep his team in it. 28 to go on the man advantage. Down below the goal line, Hunter Jackal. He will come into contact there. And Jackal has it. Stripped of control, though. Bunch has it. Takes the shot high and wide. Danny Brooker. And now Bolger battles with Brooker. Loose puck taken by Peters. Fired all the way back out. And now Reese is going to try to chase this one down. Julian Reese gets to it first. Shrugs off a man. Has Bolger in front. Loose. Bolger. The shot. Save made again by Shaw. Bolger had all day to wind that one up, and Shaw still made the save. Penalty has expired. Now Bolger alone in front on the backhand. He skies it. Mike Bolger incredulous right now. Shaw may have made the save. Umpteen chances on the doorstep there for Mike Bolger and the Gamecocks. Shaw holds the door shut, and that puck right now is a beach ball for Brandon Shaw. He's made 39 saves on 41 shots. Trip Russell, 29 saves on 34 shots. As the time to get back in it becomes less and less for South Carolina. A big hit in the offensive zone for Owen Thomas. He tangles up with a man. Thomas slowly collects himself. Long shot from the point as the music continues here. Hunter Jackal sends one on goal. Finally, it's cut off. Owen Thomas taken to the boards there. He still got the puck. Thomas at 5'10". And a centering pass there from Rudman. Ricochets in the slot area. Comes out to the neutral zone, and Jackal able to just swat this one back in behind the goal once more. Dropped off there, a hit behind the play. Luke Rudman got a stick up on Braden Frost. Play continues. It's Owen Thomas at center ice. Sends one across for Tyler Oakley. Long shot in and out of the glove again of Shaw. He's having some trouble with that catching glove. At least corralling the puck. He doesn't have any trouble making the saves, that's for sure. This puck sent in near side. Tennessee into the South Carolina zone. Delayed call. Touched up by the Gamecocks. Interference to Tyler Oakley. Makes visit number 4. .8:46 to go in the third period. South Carolina parading to the penalty box still. So as we continue in this game, the dream of an 8-0 start becomes further and further away. The margin remains 3, but the Gamecocks shorthanded yet again. Far side, Cadmus. Center point, Richter. Cadmus again on this power play. Sends it back down low where it can be taken and moved over by Brooker. Interference to Oakley. And now Richter across again for Cadmus. Center point, finds the seam there. Can't find Michael Curtis, though. Curtis sidesteps a man. They work it back down below the goal line. Curtis gets it at the circle. Sends one across there. A collision in front and another penalty. Colin Burke tangled there with Danny Brooker. Brooker slow to get up. And now it looks like Brooker's going to head to the penalty box. And so we'll go to 4-on-4. .8:13 to go. Brooker in for 2. So 4-on-4 for a minute 27. And I got to be honest with you, I'm running out of slots here on my penalty sheet. We've had games where, like that Vanderbilt game, I had 4 entries, 5 entries. We've got well into double digits here, 15, 20 penalties. Would love to count these up at the end of the game. So 4-on-4 we skate. Ronan Egan, the lone forechecker, has this puck taken in behind the Tennessee net. Cadmus drops it back for Bunch. Brooker for clipping. That's not one you hear too often. It looked like Brooker ended up getting the worst of that one. But when you tangle with Colin Burke, you're likely to gain the short end of the stick in that physical altercation. Unless you're Andy Kaczynski for Florida, who was of equal size and stature. That shot off the offensive zone draw coming off the stick of Ryan McGowan. It goes off the outside of the cage. Picked up by Ronan Egan. McGowan skies one again over the net. Quick give and go there. As this one loose in front, swatting at that one was Hawkinson. And now back the other way, having a step here. It's Curtis alone. Shoots one, save made by Russell. Curtis tried to open up the 5-hole all alone. Trip Russell makes a brilliant save and keeps it at 5-2. Just a tough night on defense for Ryan McGowan. He's beaten again. Made a valiant diving effort. Lunged out with the stick. Just couldn't swat it away from Mike Curtis. But Trip Russell bails the Gamecocks out again. 45 to go on the 4-on-4. Broken up there. Julian Reese swatted ahead. There by Reese and ahead for Bolger. Reese gets it back and he's offsides. Julian Reese tried to stretch at the line. He and Bolger came back ahead again with a full head of steam. But Julian Reese, just a little over anxious here. Individually, not a bad game for Julian Reese. He's got 2 goals to his credit. Alan Sirois has some words for the official. And words turn into a conversation. The officials want somebody from the South Carolina bench. He's talking to Ronan Egan because he's got the A on his sweater, as was indicated. It would appear to be another bench minor here as the Gamecocks send Rob Lawrence. So 4-on-4 turns to 4-on-3. The face-off, as the head official indicates, will come all the way back down to our right in Gamecock territory. Rob Lawrence serving the penalty. Second bench minor tonight for South Carolina. It looked for a second as though the official was telling Alan Sirois to leave the game. Sirois remains behind the bench here. Julian Reese, Mike Bolger, and Hunter Jackal, the 3 on the penalty kill. 4-on-3 for South Carolina. Bolger chips it out. Racing back, playing this one off the boards there is Michael Czar. And now King's going to have a 2-on-1. King across, just too far past the stick there of Max Galpin. Now back the other way. With some speed, it's Reese, shorthanded across. Bolger takes the shot. Shaw makes the save. Unsportsmanlike conduct, the bench minor. Alan Sirois picking up his first penalty of the night. The official not typically, or head coach not typically booked. Head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers is Johnny Scotello, if we hadn't mentioned that already. Scotello spent some time with the University of Tampa, a team the Gamecocks played their last game against last year against Regionals. As this one fired back in, Reese has an open net, and it goes off the outside of the cage. Shaw went back behind the goal to play it, couldn't regain his net. Now Bolger shorthanded, tries to feed Reese again. Out of the penalty boxes, Oakley 4-on-4 for 27 more seconds. 2-on-1 for Tennessee, sends it across, and a defensive play made. Owen Thomas shuts that one down. Shot from behind the net goes off the outside of the cage. And now they'll play this one away from Corey Hawkinson. They'll try to sky this play up for Julian Reese. Picked up by Bolger at center ice. Bolger brings it on, sends it across. Hawkinson, quick shot there upstairs. And Shaw makes the save. Corey Hawkinson beside himself. Save number 42 on the night for Brandon Shaw. 6:20 to go in the third. South Carolina trails Tennessee 5-2. And if Brandon Shaw let in every shot from now until the end of this game, he'd still be getting serious first star consideration. Richter in behind the goal, battles with Powderly. Tennessee penalty expires. 46 seconds of a man advantage for the Volunteers. And a chance to put this away with a sixth goal.
The University of Tennessee is now on the power play.
Richter from his own zone spins away from Powderly, drops it off for Cadmus. Now Richter gets it back patiently in behind his own net. Skates away from Ronan Egan and sends this one on for Michael Curtis now. Brooker sends this one off the stick of Ronan Egan and back ahead for Bunch. Now off the skate of Curtis into the Gamecock zone. Joe Collega off the stick lift. Escorts Curtis into the glass, but Curtis has the puck to the point in Richter. Sends it far side. Off the seam pass there, a bouncing puck picked up by Michael Curtis. Now center point, Richter, broken up there by Rob Lawrence as he escapes the penalty box. Full strength here as we approach 5 minutes to play in the third period. Out off the skate of Rob Lawrence. In over the blue line. Rob Lawrence sidesteps a man. It's picked up by Ronan Egan. Sends one in front for Powderly the shot. And again, Shaw the glove save. He has no trouble with that one. And now a slash after the play. Powderly's going to get involved. Danny Brooker took a two-handed whack at Rob Lawrence. Powderly didn't like that one. More of a conversation with Brooker and Lawrence. Lawrence usually one to start throwing hands. He just tells Brooker to head towards the penalty box. The official will echo that sentiment. Brooker's going to ask for a penalty here. He won't get it. And Brooker, a three-time visitor of the Tennessee penalty box. Another Gamecock power play. Unsuccessful so far tonight. I'll be honest with you, they've had so many opportunities. I've lost track. Again, all that mix-up at the end of the second period where we had some double minors, some majors handed out. I've lost track of the penalties here. As Tripp Russell comes out to play this one in behind his own net. Colin Burke to break things out. He sends this one too far for Nick Peters. Gamecocks had some trouble on the power play breakout in practice, and needless to say, it's carried over into the game. Corey Hawkinson winds things up from center ice. Down the left side, the right-handed centerman has that puck knocked away. Nick Peters can't hold that puck in. Coming across to the near side to play it is Colin Burke. Picked up the red line by Nick Peters. Cycles this one in. Left wing. Swatted back out of the slot. Back to Colin Burke. Wants one. Back down low. Ben Smith can't handle it. It bounces. Smith picks it up. Too far for his reach. And now Rob Lawrence bounces this one back down low. Hawkinson underneath. Taken into the boards by King. 1 minute left on the Brooker penalty for slashing. Tennessee sends this one all the way back down. Behind the net, it's Tripp Russell. And now Colin Burke to start things out. Unit change for both clubs. Owen Thomas motors on through center ice. Through the slot area. Quick shot there again by Julian Reese. And a quick glove save again by Brandon Shaw. Opportunity after opportunity. The Gamecocks approach 50 shots on goal. They sit at 46 now. It's been a combination of miscommunication and exemplary goaltending on the part of Tennessee. That's been the demise of South Carolina here. Though here's a chance in the offensive zone. Julian Reese wants a hooking call. He won't get it. This puck held in. Nice play by Ronan Egan. Tries to sidestep a man. That hasn't been working. Bolger has it in the slot to the back end. Open net there. They can't capitalize. Ian Powderly fanned on that one. Bolger from the side of the net tries to stuff one there. Sharp angle. Shaw makes the save. Owen Thomas at the point. 12 to go on the man advantage. Thomas winds. Fires one high. Shaw makes the glove save. He stays on his feet. Doesn't go down into the butterfly. Gets a whistle and a face-off here. Save number 46 on the night for Brandon Shaw. So who'd have thought chemical engineering majors make the best goaltenders? I mean, whatever works. Alan Sirois going with a goaltending rotation here. Liam Gormley expected to make the start tomorrow night. The only South Carolina goaltender with a shutout to his credit. Got that one in a 7-0 win against Coastal Carolina in Wilmington back in September. 3 minutes to go here in the third period. South Carolina trails Tennessee 5-2. Even strength for now. Chad Lazine gets a shoulder up high into the head area. Play continues. Right in front of the Gamecock bench. Sirois wanted a call. Lazine has the puck. Fans on that attempt to make a pass there. And the Gamecocks can't get it out of their own zone. It's Bunch. Tries to sidestep Matt Owen. He twirls. Moves his puck up for Luke Rudman. 2-on-1 develops. It's Rudman. Sends one on goal. Shaw again the save. And now Matt Owen tangles with Danny Brooker once more. Brooker from Philadelphia. Certainly been the most brotherly out there for Tennessee. Ronan Egan lines up for the offensive zone draw. He can't win it. Volunteers escort this puck back out. It's Garrett Griffiths until it's shoveled back in there. Gamecocks, Ian Powderly to get this one. Powderly tangles there. Down to the ice, Kyle Bartles. And now Griffiths sidesteps Hunter Jackal in the zone. A diving play there by Owen Thomas. Negates a 2-on-1. Back out, Powderly gets on his horse through the neutral zone. Sends this one back in. Behind Shaw's net, Owen Thomas to get it. No help, though, for Owen Thomas. He gets it in a brilliant area, but no one's in front of the net. 2 minutes to play. Centering pass. Jackal goes down awkwardly in his own zone. Now back behind the net. Jackal to the far side corner to play this one away. Miscommunication there with Colin Burke. Tennessee off the turnover. Trip Russell gets a paddle on that puck to disrupt the pass out of the corner. Delayed penalty. Tennessee touches it up. Griffiths will be booked on this one. Perhaps. Nope, we've got that completely wrong. Colin Burke steps into the penalty box. Tennessee to the power play. Minute 40 in this one. The Gamecocks approach more penalty minutes in this game than time on ice. As this offensive zone faceoff goes wide for Tennessee. King out of the corner, awkwardly going down is Corey Hawkinson. Back out to the point now, it's taken by Cadmus. A bouncer inside 90 seconds here. So the Gamecocks, with their best start in recent memory, perhaps the best start in club history. Burke in the box for high sticking. The Gamecocks started out 7-0. Excuse me. The late hour's getting to me. Cross ice pass here for Tennessee. Goes in behind the goal. So the quest for 8-0 comes short. The Gamecocks, at the conclusion of this, in 52 seconds, will fall to 7-1. They lose to a division opponent. Only their second such opponent out of the SEC East. Kennesaw State lost as well, so the Gamecocks in an interesting division. The two South Carolina teams, Gamecocks and Clemson, the three Georgia teams being University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, and Kennesaw State, and these Tennessee Volunteers, all playing out of the SEC East, as Tennessee will just pass things around in the offensive zone for the final 19 seconds here. Now a point shot, redirected in front, they score. Tennessee 6, South Carolina 2. A point shot that had some eyes on it, Harry Cadmus. With 14.3 to go. And a little salt in the wound there for Tennessee. Brooker's being taken to the penalty box. Not that it'll make a particularly large difference here. So the Gamecocks show up a little late to Knoxville. Tennessee spits in their eye And so the Gamecocks will have a long ride back to the hotel tonight. A late bedtime and some time to mull this one over. As Rocky Top plays here, much to the chagrin of South Carolina. A song that you can be sure they don't want to hear for a long time. As these two teams will meet again Sunday afternoon, Sunday at noon. We will bring you that coverage, another audio call for you. As Owen Thomas sends one across there, intended for Hunter Jackal. Time expires. And so South Carolina loses for the first time in 2019. Final score from Knoxville. University of Tennessee 6, South Carolina 2. A Gamecock team that, from all accounts, looked tired. The magic had to end at some point. You would have liked for it to continue as long as possible, but no team is infallible. The Gamecocks have proven that tonight. But sometimes losses can be your greatest teaching points. So the Gamecocks will take whatever they can learn from this one and use it when they meet these same Volunteers in a little under 48 hours here. So that'll do it. We thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you even much for sticking with us and staying up as we approach 2 o'clock in the morning. You get some sleep. Meet us back here on Sunday at 12. Final score from Knoxville, South Carolina falls 6-2 to Tennessee. And that'll do it. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dillon Clark. Good night, Carolina, and forever to thee.